Hello and welcome to yet another outwardly experience. Today we will be talking about server events. Basically what a server event is that if something happens in game, it will trigger a certain part of the code. So basically the game or the program itself is looping around continuously so that if something happens in the game, then a certain part of the code runs. So, for instance, let's say I want to, first of all, you need to know what all the events are. So just write server event in a normal bracket, write event, full stop, and you'll see these many callbacks. These are the server event attributes that you can use. The chat message, what happens if a player chats, uses the normal T command to chat with someone. Entity created, entity is basically anything, a player, a vehicle, an object, anything at all. And if an entity is created, what is supposed to happen? There are a lot of things like player connected, player damage, player death. So for now, and this, forget about for now, this is one of the server events. This happens, this gets triggered when a player gets connected. This resource start, this callback gets triggered when the program or the, let's say, your server actually starts. So right now we will use chat message. So this will basically, this is just a server event attribute. Whatever public function is just below this command attribute, sorry, server event attribute is going to trigger whenever someone tries to use the chat function. So public void on player chat. What we're going to use over here is client player, as in which player is actually using the chat, and string message. There you go. This is the basic way of writing a server event, or what I like to call a callback. So now, let's say if you want that if a player chats, only the people around him, which is 5 meter radiance, wow, radius, who is in the radius of 5 meter, only they can hear him or they can see the chat, then this is what you have to do. If player, first of all, we have to loop through the players. Second of all, what we need to do is napi.server.set global server chat to false. What this does is basically by default, if this is not enabled, I mean disabled, then if a player chats, then everyone in the server is able to see it, the chat itself. So first I'm gonna disable this. And second, okay, there was a bit of a pause over there. Anyway, first of all, you'll set global server chat to false so that no one else in the server who's in game sees the message. Then what you're gonna do is, first of all, you need the list of players who are near our current player who's chatting, who used the current chat function. So we will use var and the name of the variable near, let's just call it nearest players, spelling mistake, is equals to napi dot player dot get player in radius of player. Over here we're gonna write the distance between our player and the players who are supposed to hear or see the chat. We'll just make it as 5 meters, and the player whom we're gonna compare it with. So anyone who's within the range of 5 from this player who is actually using the chat function will be stored in this list, nearest players. Now we're gonna send those number of players the message. So for each, I hope you guys know how to use for each. Basically what you have to do is give one variable. So we will use client, let's say item in the list. In this case we already have the list, which is stored in nearest players. So we'll write nearest players. This will loop through all of the items in nearest players in the form of item. So if you want to access all of the items inside nearest players, it's going to be accessed through the variable name item. So what we'll do now is item dot send chat message, and then we'll just format the string in such a way that player dot name says and the message. And that's it, done. So this way only the players who are in the range of 5 or below from the player who's using the chat will be able to see the message and not the entire server. So let's test this out. Let me pause it real quick. And as you can see, my server is up and I am connected to my local host. Now let me try and say something. Hi, my name is Ronnie. And it says, Ronnie says, hi, my name is Ronnie. Now let's say if you did not wanted a certain player to not be able to say something in the server chat, let's say someone is prohibited to say anything. So let's try that out as well. Over here we will do if player dot name dot equals, let's say we will put Ronnie. Then what should happen? We are gonna prompt the player send chat message, you are not allowed to say anything. And then we'll put a return over here so that any code that comes after this return does not get executed. So that means this part will not get executed. It'll just stop right over here in this return. So it's gonna check if the player's name is Ronnie. If it is, then it's just gonna prompt you're not allowed to say anything. Let's test that out. Let me pause it real quick. As you can see, my server is up and I should be connected by now. Let me check. Yep, I am. And I'm gonna try and say something that was very... And as you can see, it's written over here, you're not allowed to say anything because my game name is Ronnie. And in the script, it's checking if the name is Ronnie. If it is, then it'll just print, you're not allowed to say anything, and it will stop. However, if my name was something else, then it would have printed whatever I am saying to the 5-meter radius in front of me. Whoever player is there, they'll be able to see it as well. And that is all about server events. In the next video, we'll be talking about functions. So until then, peace out. Oh, by the way, if you learned anything and if you find it interesting, if you find me to make more RageMP tutorials or what I should do, then comment down below, like and hit that subscribe button. Thank you.